myself. Hide selfie. All right, so we're gonna be doing some year compass. So for everybody who's tuning into this later, this is a resource that I think I introduced Ashley to, which then Ashley introduced Rachel to, that has made its way around. So this is just, I found this as like a free resource going down the rabbit holes of things like bullet journal, and all the there's so many different journaling methods out there. And so they do sell a book, and I think you were saying it's like only in Dutch, I think. But if you go to yearcompass.com, it's Hungarian actually. Very cool. So you can go to yearcompass.com and you can download the booklet, and if you have the ability to do double-sided printing, you can print yourself a little booklet there. So it was, yeah. So if you're gonna flip the page on the short side, not the long side, and I couldn't do the mental math around what that meant. Yes. So let's just find, I did the US half letter printable booklet, and so they say, how does it work? So find a few quiet hours for yourself. What we're going to do right now is not the full process. This is really just an introduction to it. We're going to do a little overview of it, and it says answer the 20 pages worth of questions. I don't have 20 pages, but I guess that's front and back 20 pages. So prepare yourself a hot drink. Yeah, I guess this is 20 pages. And really what we're going to do is just kind of go through the different sections to kind of close out the year and plan the next one. And a big piece of this is actually praising yourself and forgiving yourself, and the year, which has a lot of things in it worth forgiving, I guess. And on Twitch, I think there is no dumpster fire emoji, so the Twitch icon is a trash can and a fire. So if you agree with that, you can write that down. But we can get into it. So the first page, it looks like, is instructions. We got some good little mantras and some affirmations here. Mm-hmm. Well, you're reading the Lone Wolf version, it looks like. Yeah, so both you need a calendar, some honesty and openness, and a selection of your favorite pens. Not just one, but a selection of. So you should definitely have a good pen. I've got a good Bic pen over here. The finest Bic pen. If you have those, you could bring them. For Twitch and Slack, I'm gonna go ahead and post the playlist that I'm playing on Twitch. This is the lo-fi stream beats. So if you want a mood set, it says arrive, put on some relaxing music, pour yourself a hot beverage, let go of all of your expectations, and start when ready. And I will give this to you, Rachel, and Chanel, if you want to play it up in the front room. Yes. All right, I'm going to pull this up on the screen here so everyone can see it at home. All right. So I've got the actual calendar. So going through your calendar, go through the last year's calendar week by week. If you see an important event, family gathering, friendly get-together, or significant project, write it down here. So, wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the next page, what is that? Page 5. I like how they have split it out a little bit. So you'll essentially, what aspects were the most important to you in the following areas, which happenings were the most significant. I think this is one where, like, we've done this with other things where it's okay to not have something in some of these. I'm assuming, I haven't actually looked ahead of this, that we might put things that we look forward to in each of these for next year as well. Yep.
So I suppose we could. Do you want to roll through this like each page, or do you want to stop and contemplate? That's for you, Colin.
Now I can't hear you guys. I'm messing with the audio over here.
Oh. Okay.
There we go. I can hear you now.
I'm going to move us to page 5 to sort of think about. So as you're going through your calendar, the things that the last year was about. And so one of the notes they have, the aspects are defined by what is important to you. We do not have a definition on purpose.
Right.
Okay. So things like personal life and family, work, studies, profession. I like the belongings. So like home and objects instantly made me think of my Nespresso because it was like my big COVID purchase.
It's a big one.
Which, you know, in reflection, I'm like, it's not that large of a purchase, but it was like a big, I need to have nice coffee at home thing.
Yeah, I think everyone invested in their home a lot this year. Like
Yeah.
it's practically impossible to find contractors available just because everyone's like fixing up their home because they're spending so much time there.
Exactly. Well, and it kind of rolls through like relaxation, hobbies, creativity, which obviously looked so different this year. Friends and community, again, health and fitness, intellectual, emotional, spiritual. God, this touches on all
the things.
Finances, and then this bucket list piece.
So that's in case you achieved something from your bucket list.
Right. Okay. I was going to say, like, it seems as though bucket lists, I would imagine this year, have probably become a lot larger only because we're so limited. And I wonder if people who didn't appreciate, or not appreciate, but weren't really keen on or interested in travel, if a lot more people are now interested in travel, or if that just stayed the same, you know, because
yeah, which category would you put travel under?
That's the thing.
Bucket list?
I suppose, well, I didn't.
Could be, I mean, it could be a lot of them: personal life, family, could be for work, could be
Yeah. Relaxation,
friends.
hobbies, and creativity. I would love if travel was my hobby.
Hey,
Finances, maybe I'll put it
travel
there.
bloggers.
Yeah, I mean, the extent of our travel was camping this year.
Yeah, I think camping is definitely in one of these boxes for me.
Yeah. And then let's see. I don't know. I feel like we were lucky. We, as in like my family, was lucky enough that finances were not too badly hit. But I can imagine finances being a really tough spot. Obviously, a very tough spot for a lot of people. A real sore spot.
Indeed. So what we'll do is I'm just putting one word or even a picture into each of these.
In each of oh, nice, a picture. I like that.
A little tent for camping.
Health and fitness achieved 15 pounds. Yay!
The COVID-19.
COVID-19 / avoided so far. COVID-19.
So I think this is the one where spend some time in each of these buckets and just try to think about one thing that this year was about. And then I went ahead and peeked ahead. So there definitely is like half this book is the past year, and then the last couple pages is the year ahead. And so we will be saying what we want our next year to be about again in those categories, with not necessarily resolutions, but like if you think like, oh, finances is a good example. You said you weren't hit too hard. It's stable, but maybe you have a financial goal that you want to put in there for next year.
Yeah.
Or an emotional, spiritual goal, bucket list goal, things like that. So the next page, we've got 6 sentences about my past year. The wisest decision I made, the biggest lesson I learned, the biggest risk I took, the biggest surprise. The most important thing I did for others, the biggest thing I completed. Man, those fires in Australia, that was definitely the biggest thing of last year.
Yeah, that was
I think that was the first biggest thing of this year.
That was. Yeah, oh, that's interesting. The most important thing I did for others.
Wear a mask.
I was just about to say that. I washed my hands a hell of a lot more.
Washed my hands. Stayed home.
Yeah, stayed home.
Yes, stayed home.
Went camping for others and for me.
Yes. The biggest lesson I learned. I feel like I learned learned a lot about technology this year. I know that's not, they're probably a little more emotional, but I think you can use either, but definitely an appreciation for technology much greater than I did before. Biggest risk.
Going to the grocery store.
Yeah. Spending time with, well, let's see, the most important thing I did for others, that might be the number of things that we cut down on in order to protect my mom. You know, like protecting other people, but in a specific way, like protecting her. Yeah. Yeah,
and some of these don't necessarily fit being on a live stream, right? So some of these might be very personal to you. So definitely take the time to write down whatever these might be for you.
Yeah. Well, and we're sort of rolling through them.
Right.
And you can absolutely, you can press pause, come back.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm probably going to deep dive on this weekend, and I kind of want to first, but I'm glad we're having the discussion about the questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next page, I think we'll leave the 6 sentences and we'll go on to 6 questions. So what are you most proud of from last year? Who are 3 people who influenced you the most? Who are 3 people you influenced the most? That's an interesting one, because I don't know if we're aware as much of who we've influenced. What were you not able to accomplish? What is the best thing you've discovered about yourself? And what are you the most grateful for?
Yeah.
We're getting deeper thoughts.
Right. And then also like thinking about how different this one's going to look, hopefully, next year.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And when you think about people who influenced you, is it people that you personally know? Or is it certain politicians who are not making good decisions, therefore impacting daily lives?
I think that's open,
Right.
open to interpretation.
Yeah, influence is not necessarily positive. Yeah, that's funny. I was looking at it like, who are the role models and things like that. But yeah,
I mean, I think it's definitely open to interpretation, but I think being positive is also good.
I think being positive is good.
We're supposed to approach this without judgment.
Without judgment, but also who are the 3 people you won't be voting for? Who are the 3 people, or you might be voting out of office?
Yeah, already did. Okay, I kind of so I'm moving to page 8.
All right, so we have the best moments.
The best moments. So describe the greatest and most memorable joyful moments from last year. So I think this is really key, and it's going to go on for the next couple pages as far as the positive. But yeah, looking back at what brought us joy during a year that was so awful. And it's hard because sometimes I look and I think I didn't lose anyone during this. I'm once removed. The closest I have is being once removed from someone who lost their spouse. And so some of it feels like COVID is sort of removed. I've had multiple friends now who have had it, but as far as a real large loss, but just thinking about the people that, how finding joy when you're going through so much grief is an interesting, consideration.
Yeah, definitely.
Draw them. Huh.
I'm going to draw a Not Burning Man for sure.
A Not Burning Man?
Yeah, we went to Not Burning Man.
Oh, Not Burning Man. Yeah.
We went to the Burning Man that didn't happen.
That didn't happen. Oh, nice.
But I think that falls under the camping as well. It's like when I think back, because there was a few small groups that were rebubbled and went camping, like the Center of Nevada trip, the Not Burning Man trip. Nice. Stayed away from people as best we could. And
Oh, that's interesting. What kinds of smells, sounds, or tastes do you remember?
Dirt.
I remember a lot of sugar in the best joyful moments this year.
Okay, so page 9, 3 of my biggest accomplishments. So list your 3 greatest accomplishments from last year here. What have you done to achieve these? Who helped to achieve these successes and how? And then the flip side of that is your 3 biggest challenges.
Okay, well, I'm going to put myself in the mindset of the business of the Reno Collective. And I think a really great accomplishment that we have had is staying in business.
We're still here.
Yeah. And who helped you achieve these successes would be a huge shout out to our members who, whether paying or not, just the support, the monetary support, but the verbal, emotional, mental support from people who checked in with us, not just us checking in with people, but who, people just supported us through participating. But then also people who didn't participate that were just, quiet and on the sidelines, but still
yeah, they knew what they needed to do to help, right? Is that we've been asking people to come in if only if they need to, and
Right.
In the beginning, we were doing all those movie nights and things where we're just like, we're not sure what we're supposed to be doing and not supposed to be doing. And thanks for coming to the movie night. And we're outside. Things like that.
I think it's all right.
What do we have to wash and when?
Yes. And how often? How many gallons of hand sanitizer do we need to buy? Because it's on sale at Home Depot.
So definitely spend some time thinking about these accomplishments and challenges. Pause if you need to. And we'll move on to page 10. We're halfway through. We're almost there. So we've got forgiveness. Did anything happen during the year that still needs to be forgiven? Deeds or words that made you feel bad, or are you angry with yourself? Write it down here. Do good for yourself and forgive. And there's a footnote.
Yeah. If you don't feel ready to forgive yet, note it down anyway. It can work wonders. I'm going to do a drawing. So then the next, in tandem with that, is letting go. Is there anything else you need to say? Anything you must let go of before you can start your next year? Draw or write, then think about it and let it all go. Oh, I think that's a hard one this year because there's so much that this election as well is obviously very strange. But I've seen in an election year 4 years ago, there's an outcome, and then going into the new year, January 20th, someone's going to be inaugurated, right? So you can kind of let go of the outcome and then you're ready to move forward. But especially with like the vaccine, like there is no clear, even though it feels like we can say, all right, 2020, just fuck off. We can't actually, because it's still going to like bleed into 2021.
Right. It's not a light switch.
Right. Which, and it was funny because I was listening to the episode that we did that was talking about the year end. And we talked about, a celebration day. So like D-Day and in Europe and the UK, like Armistice Day and, things like that. And wondering if there might be, I don't know, vaccine day, like an international day of awareness,
Yeah, I mean, the UK was calling it V-Day, but I would be very curious if there's like the day that there are 0 cases anywhere.
Right.
That would be the day or something like that, right?
Right. And yeah, because then you also, like polio and...
Yeah, I mean, some of these things we may be living with this for forever, right? But we have vaccines for them. So, and I think this letting go one, there's a good meditation that I can see if I can try to find that it's like a before bed meditation where you basically like let anything that you're thinking of or is weighing on you like drop to the ground because you don't need to take them with you. And then in the morning when you get up, you can take the things you need with you, but you're going to leave all the stuff that you don't need to carry around with you behind, right? There's things that you just carry along with you because you've gotten used to carrying it.
Right.
I think that's what I think of here is that there's some things that were just, when you find yourself not taking a full inhale or full breath, you're like something's weighing on you that you didn't realize that you've been carrying around with you. And this is a good time to write all those things down. And some of those things you're going to take into 2021 and some of them we can keep in 2020.
Like that. Draw a suitcase.
Unpack that suitcase.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, next page. We've got the past year in 3 words.
Oh.
And the book of my past year, I think I'm actually not sure if I finished a book in 2020.
You mean, oh.
But I've been reading Dune for almost all of 2020, so I think Dune is the book of 2020 for me.
Wait a second. Apologies if we got it wrong and yours was made into a movie.
Which
Wait,
is
what?
being done to Dune, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, right. I never read Dune. I mean,
I'll pass the copy on.
I feel like it'll be easier to watch the movie maybe. Is that the pictures where they have like the nose?
Yes.
Like I've seen like promo. Okay. All right. Like nose feely bobbies or whatever. Oh, a book or a movie of the past year.
Great.
Oh no, see, a book was made about your past year. It might not be a book that you read. Hello, small one.
Oh, I see. A book was made about your past year. Write down its title. So this is not necessarily a book. It's if someone were to write a book about your past year.
Mm-hmm.
You like Contagion or something?
Right.
Hi, Milo.
Hello, little man. Ooh. Trying to think of like even a fairy tale or something that might represent
Three Little Pigs.
Three Little Pigs. You can keep trying to blow my house down, but it's not going down.
Yeah. What's the what's the one with the porridge?
White knight coming to save them. So that's Cinderella and all the princesses out.
So the last thing is to say farewell to your last year. If there's anything else left that you want to write down, or if there's anybody that you'd like to say goodbye to, do it now. That's deep. And you're done with the past year. So you finished the first part. Take a deep breath, get some rest. So it might even sound like you may not necessarily need to do this in one sitting.
I feel like it's a good, I feel like it's smart to like take the time to start, like to let go of that past year and then make the break into the next year. So insert break here.
Insert break here.
Elevator music, please. What was it called? Vapor Soul?
Yeah, we'll switch to some synthwave music next. The playlist of 2021, the future.
Nice. All right, deep breath. 2021. All right. We're gonna keep going, right?
Yeah, I'm just.
Or should we take a break and do?
We can do the last half a little bit faster.
Okay.
Just did. So we can just kind of do a review and wrap this up in the next 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And call it good. So this is definitely a little bit, actually more intense than I thought it was before we went into this. So I will be sitting down to do it more fully. But so the first step of 2021, now that we have our futuristic music playing, is to dare to dream big. So what does the year ahead look like? What will happen in an ideal case? Why will it be great? Write, draw, let go of your expectations, and dare to dream.
So that is a very large white space on that page.
Lots of room for dreaming.
Yeah. But
And
I kind of like the little squares for this is what
the
my
next one
year will be about. So page 15. So the idea of that breakdown about what 2020 represented. So, finances, health and fitness, relaxation. And there's that bucket list again. So those
you gotta add things
you
to your bucket
mentioned.
list.
Huh?
Gotta add. That's those travel goals.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Invest in travel. That's finances.
Yeah. Well, and invest in in travel and meeting people.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I mean, literally investing in the stocks of travel,
Oh,
airplanes.
yeah, I guess that's a good idea too.
Hotels. Go to Cabo.
Question best left to Chanel, I think.
Yes.
Right. United Airlines, check.
You need
Southwest.
a travel mutual fund. It's just a bunch of stocks in travel, an index.
That's a good idea. You heard it here first, people.
Heard it here first. We missed Airbnb already. That was last week, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one, we're doing something new. Magical triplets.
Ooh. Oh, interesting.
So we've got 3 things that I will love about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I am ready to let go of these 3 things.
COVID-19 poundage. Happy.
These 3 things I want to achieve the most.
Ooh.
These 3 people will be my pillars during rough times.
Interesting.
These 3 things I will dare to discover. I think we need to put therapy spiders under that one.
Therapy spiders? Oh my
Therapy
God.
spiders.
Just Google it.
Google therapy spiders. It's a thing.
And then take a shower. You don't want anything touching your skin.
These 3 things I will have the power to say no to. This one I think is a big one for freelancers and anyone who needs to set some boundaries to protect their energy.
Yes. We were chatting with a person today who was talking about having greater boundaries about those little things that kind of sneak in, and that can be at home. You know, I am very prone to saying, can you grab me this, or can you take care of this, or oh one more thing, why don't we add this, or something like that. But those little squeeze ins is what we were calling them. Yes. Which has nothing to do with Squeeze In the cafe, which is in Reno and Truckee and is wonderful, but nothing to do with it. Yeah, I feel like this year that will definitely be a longer list. I could probably do more than 3 things just because of what the last 9 months has looked like.
Yeah.
That I've learned.
Yeah, once you have the ability to do things, you're going to say a lot no to a lot of other things.
Yeah. Like the random, not get-togethers, but the things you say yes to that are small and sort of random, and you figure, well, it's important for X, Y, and Z, or I need to make someone happy.
Yeah.
That now it's like, you know what? I lived without that for a long time, and I'm good.
Do you want to read the next ones, Chanel?
Sure.
No way.
So, these 3 things I will make my surroundings cozy with.
Ooh.
These 3 things I will do every morning. These 3 things I will pamper myself with regularly. These 3 places I will visit. I will connect with my loved ones in these 3 ways. With these 3 presents, I will reward my successes.
Oh, I like the last one.
Yeah.
Treat yourself.
Yes. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Okay, you're a little...
All right, and then we're going to just keep pushing forward. So we've got page 18, 6 sentences about my next year. So this is very similar to the 6 sentences about the last year, but we've got some different questions. This year I will not procrastinate anymore on.
Yikes.
Yeah. This year I will draw the most energy from.
Oh.
I will be the bravest when. I will say yes when. Yeah. I advise myself to, and this year will be special for me because.
This year I will draw the most energy from. We talked about the energy audit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's. I was thinking about that in the review, the 2020 portion. I think I'll be thinking about that with, like, looking at the calendar, what things I pulled energy from and what things sapped my energy. Again, I'm really excited to actually do this in 2021 and compare what 2021 to 2022 will look like and see what that becomes, because when you realize what you've taken advantage of for so long and then you miss it, and wondering if, like, trying to make a note so that I don't take advantage of things that I missed so much this last 9 months.
That was what I was thinking about with trying to set up a bullet journal for 2021. Like, this is a good exercise, but I think doing the bullet journal for the year, where you kind of just put some of the big milestones in some of the months, especially if you have certain things. Like, I think it's hard to know what's happening in 2021, but if you have like certain you know, birthdays and events, milestones, things like that. And then you can build your or the bucket list items. Then you can build things around it so that, you know, 2 months don't go by and you're like, oh yeah, I told myself I was going to do that. And it's like, no, you write it down in January, write it down in February. Kind of like what we do with Codivation, but you're almost looking at it's like, let's look at the whole year. Now let's audit it every month. Because in bullet journaling, you look at the day to see what you said you were going to do and what you actually did, and then move things to the next day. And then you try to do that on a monthly basis. And then I don't know that many people who do it on a yearly basis, but like I have a whole bunch of shelves behind me, and one of them is all notebooks. And it's really interesting to go through some like from like 10 years ago where some of the ideas or goals are still there. And for whatever reason, either I haven't done them or maybe we have done them. And so it's cool just to see like, oh, I can actually check that off. And it's not on my to-do list now, but it was, you know, at some point in the past.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, and something that someone had mentioned, Ashley, was talking about using a quote. I really like quotes. You know, what someone else has said tends to strike a chord versus coming up with something, you know, significant and over, you know,
like a word for your year
impressive
ahead.
Can be very hard. Yeah. And so the idea of starting a month out, starting out a month working from home, starting out a month by selecting, you know, it could be a mantra, or for me, I think it'll probably be more of like a quote to see what, like in anticipation of what the rest of the month will be, which leads us right into the next thing, which is my word for the year ahead.
One word.
That is
one word.
Yeah.
And then your secret wish.
Ooh.
I think this is the secret happening right here.
Yeah. This is how the secret has infiltrated.
Create that door and walk through it.
So if Atomic Habits and Year End, the secret had a baby, it would be Year Compass.
Yes. Everyone take a shot. We said Atomic Habits.
Or, well, I guess it's Bullet Journal. Bullet Journal.
Yes.
And the secret. It's the year ahead.
Hello, kittens.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, with that, my word for the year end and your secret wish, you are done planning for the year. Looks like they want people to take a photo and post it on social media with the hashtag.
That's a nice picture there, Chanel. You're like, yes, I know you love me, but it's weird.
She wants me to admire her.
Yes, exactly.
And thank you to the awesome Hungarian team that put together this workbook. So they've got a bunch of kind of credits at the end there, thanking the folks from the Invisible University International.
Oh,
and that is your year ahead.
Well, and you know what's interesting is the very end that I believe, it's going to be backwards.
No, it's
I believe anything is possible. Is it forward now?
It is for me, but not for you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The date and the signature, I like that a lot.
What is the type of thinking that comes from the secret?
Law of attraction.
Law of attraction. So you have
Law of attraction.
I believe anything is possible this year.
Yes.
Now we're moving on to the Twitch cat show. This is what all the people are here for. They're like, we don't want to do this.
Purposely not look at each other. You've got kind of like a grumpy cat. The face, you know, like with the white.
Okay,
yeah,
we're gonna have to do the Arena Collective cat show, pet show.
I'm excited to dive deeper into this. This is very.
Yeah, I mean, we barely skimmed the surface of it, so it's a good little thing to do. And if this is something that you like doing, there's definitely some other like journal, like morning pages and other journal prompts that you can get into. Like you mentioned, our friend of the show, Ashley, she has a Patreon for ScribeMind, and so she has a lot of different accountability and journaling prompts and those sorts of things. So you can check that out. And then we're going to try to do more of that on the channel as well. So just a little bit on the Twitch channel specifically, but a little bit more of setting up the month or setting up the week in bullet journal form and all of that. So,
well, bullet journaling, work cycles.
Work cycles, yeah.
You
I
know,
think
trying to
the new
develop and set up your day.
the new work cycle format I think is going to be on Twitch still. So I
Yeah.
know there's a lot of people who are not in Reno that want to be able to participate in that too. And
Mm-hmm.
we've been making some videos for the collective that you guys will all get to see soon.
Yes.
And new ways for
Starring
people to
Colin
join.
and I.
Yes. There aren't enough cats in those videos that we made, but
No, there are not enough cats in the videos.
we can add them in
Not
post.
Chanel either.
We'll add them in post.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody, and enjoy your weekend and the holiday week next week. And we'll see here. We're not doing a work in progress for the next 2 weeks, so you can still interact with us in all the places you can find us online, and hopefully we'll get to see everybody in person soon.
Yes. Well, we're going to kick off January 6th for work in progress. We're actually going to talk about time management and time tracking.
Yeah.
And we have a giveaway too, which will be kind of fun. But
our first swag to give away.
yeah, it's New Year, so you might as well start figuring out where you're spending all that time. And also in the new year, we're going to do one of those energy audits. I think will be an interesting show to do and talk about, maybe a review on January.
Cool.
So that we can kick off the rest of the year and see what it looks like. But yeah, thank you so much. This is great.
Thanks, Chanel.
On to
Thanks, Rachel.
2021.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend. Adios.
Thank you.